Put a finger down if you remember any of these songs.
I sold 3008, you sold 2000 and late. I got that boom, boom, boom. That can't read my, no, we can't read my poker face. Gonna be okay.
Tonight's the night, let's live it up. I got my money, let's
Take me somewhere we can be alone. I'll be.
you go down when you go down now.
You spin my head right round.
It cannot wait. I'm yours.
Do you ever wonder what generation you're a part of? Do you feel like you aren't old enough to be a millennial, but you're too old to belong to the Generation Z? Have you ever found yourself relating to internet memes about 90s kids, but you didn't actually grow up in that decade? Are you technically classified as Gen Z, but your childhood was completely different than that of the majority of Gen Z?
Which generation do you belong to, Millennials or Generation Z? Well, the answer is neither, or more like a cross between both. You're Zillennial. The term Zillennial refers to the subgeneration that falls between Generation Z, who are better known as Millennials, and Generation Z. The commonly accepted belief is that Millennials are people who were born between 1981 and 1996, and Generation Z is made up of people born between 1997 and 2010.
However, the differences between 1997 Gen Zers and 2010 Gen Zers are so significant that older Gen Z has put themselves into a new category entirely. While the time period for Zillennials is not concrete, their birth years fall roughly between 1997 and 2002. This small group of older Gen Zers, who are right on the cusp of being millennials, had a lot of unique experiences that take place throughout their childhoods that younger Gen Z simply cannot relate to.
For starters, Zillennials got to experience the crossover between analog and digital. They witnessed the start of YouTube, they vaguely remember Hurricane Katrina, and are likely too young to remember 9/11.
These are just a few of the key experiences that make Zillennials so unique. There are many differences between Millennials, Zillennials, and Gen Z.
First, let's look at the gaming technology that was available during each generation's childhoods. Millennials spent their time playing the Nintendo Game Boy, while Generation Z spends hours playing apps on their iPads. Zillennials, on the other hand, enjoy playing games on the Wii. Now, let's move on to movies. Millennials remember The Little Rascals as being a significant film, while members of Gen Z were captivated by the release of Disney's Frozen. But for Zillennials, High School Musical is one of the most meaningful films. There are also clear differences in social media each generation used growing up. MySpace is a website Millennials got a lot of use out of, while Generation Z spends dozens of hours a week on TikTok. Zillennials got to experience the 6-second video app Vine. We can also look at the differences in online gaming. Millennials played the Oregon Trail on their large computers, while Generation Z has gained an obsession with Fortnite. But when Zillennials were kids, they played games like Club Penguin. Moving on to fashion. Millennials take pride in wearing skinny jeans and a side part, while Gen Z likes to rock straight jeans and a middle part. Meanwhile, Zillennials take bits and pieces of fashion from both generations. Finally, let's look at famous superhero Spider-Man. Millennials got to experience the original Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movies, while Generation Z gets to watch a Tom Holland Spider-Man fight alongside with the Avengers. But to a Zillennial, Andrew Garfield was the actor for Spider-Man.
Zillennials have had a hard time fitting in with Millennials and Gen Z as their childhoods were all over the place when it comes to technology, movies, and trends. But the experiences that these young adults share have allowed them to come together and create their own unique generation. A generation that stays true to themselves despite the rapid changes and chaos that has surrounded them for the decades. Be proud to be a Zillennial.